Good morning, class 10 student. Just you take out your history book and I am going to teach you chapter 2, the growth of nationalism. Topic the growth of nationalism. Now, first we will understand about the nationalism. Nationalism refers to feeling about its own nation. So, nationalism means feeling about its own nation, either refers to feeling about its own nation. Now, first, second point, just we will discuss what were the feeling or what were the leading of factors leading to the growth of the nationalism. So, factors leading to the growth of nationalism. Now, factors leading to the growth of the nationalism. Factors leading to the growth of the nationalism. Point number 1, economic exploitation. Economic exploitation. Now, first we have to understand about the economic exploitation. What do you mean by economic exploitation and how we can say it was the factor to the leading of the feeling of the nationalism. So, British exploited all the economic resources such as in the field of agriculture, industry and art and crafts, all areas, because their main policy was unless or until we would not control over the economic power of the India, we could not rule over the India. So what I have discussed, British exploited all the economic resources such as in the field of agriculture, industry and the uh, government sectors. Now first we will discuss about the peasants, how the peasants were unhappy. Peasants. Now peasants were unhappy because British had forced to the Indian farmer just you grow indigo instead of the food grains. It was one cause. Now, indigo was grown by the Indian people, it's okay, no problems. But the farmers, how much they were wasted on the economy, what's called agriculture of the indigo, that much benefit we were not getting. Because it was given the order of the British, you grow indigo, and a process was introduced by them that was known as the Tinkatia system. That I have discussed in the previous classes. 3 by 20th part of the total land of the farmers were grown only indigo instead of the food grains, and land were chosen by the British. So it was the economic exploitation. Even also total product where what is called half or 1 by 2 parts or 1 by 3 parts were taken by the British. So second point, just we will discuss about the artist and the artisan and the craftsman. The artisans and the craftsmen. Now artisans and craftsmen also were angry over the British because British policy was against their interest. British policy was against their interest of the Indian traders and the businessmen or the industry, because they wanted to finish the Indian industries or the craftsmen, and all the worker would work in their industries. So now just again I discuss about the peasants were unhappy because all the economic resources were exploited by them. Artisans and the craftsmen were also unhappy because their main policy was to finish the artisans and the craftsmen, it means Indian industries, and work under the guidance of the British in the British industry. Point number third, that is known as the working class. Working class. those who were working in the British industries, promotion system not for the Indians. Promotion system was only for the British farmers, sorry, British peoples, and even also they were getting the less salary, and job employment was also less, and even also the people, only those who were employed were available, those who were the educated peoples. Uneducated people were not getting the jobs. Uneducated people were getting the jobs, but they were working as the bonded laborers. So this was satisfaction of the working class. Now educated Indians also, point number next, the educated Indians, educated Indians. In the government sectors, the employment was less for the Indian peoples, and the people those who were educated, their main aim to get the job in the government sectors, but they were not getting. Due to that, they became angry against the British and they started to work against the British policies. Now, point number two, just repressive colonies. Next point, the repressive colonial policies. Repressive colonial policies. British, the nature of the British made the repressive colonial policies rule over India by the help of the growth of the nationalism, and they wanted to finish the growth of the nationalism. So point under that, the point number one, Lord Lytton organized a grand or old Delhi Darbar. Lord Lytton organized a grand old Delhi Darbar. Now, under these points, just we will understand about what do you mean by Grand Old Delhi Darbar. Now, Queen Victoria came to India. She arrived India for the ruling purpose of India, and she became the Empress of India. So, when she came for the celebration of the event, they expended lakh rupees or more than lakh rupees. But same year there was the drought or famine in India, and Indian people were dying from starvation. One side just they were wasting the money. British people were enjoying, celebrating the event, but other side Indian people were dying from the hungers. That is why it was also one reason to angry over the British, and Indian people started to think about the British should go from here. Now next point, Lord what's called Lytton also introduced the Vernacular Press Act. Vernacular Press Act. Now, Vernacular Press Act, it was act under which people could not print any message against the British policies. Indian press could not print any message against the British. If they print any message against the British, then Indian could ban their license. Now, even also there was the Indian Arms Act, and this policy was introduced in 1878. 1878. Vernacular Press Act and Indian Arms Acts. Vernacular Press Act was act, it was on the press. Indian press could not print any message against the British. If Indian press printed any message against the British, Indian could ban to them. Second thing, if Indian people wanted to